I just want to grab you by the ears and scream into your face, busking is not begging. My name's Spence C. Join me for daily video number 33 or whatever it is. It's January the 31st, 2025. And I'm uploading daily as this is the year of consistency. And if you are a musician who is over 40 or over 50 and you're looking to either start or restart your music career, then this is the channel for you. I'm uploading daily, as I said, talking about what works for me, what hasn't worked for me, and experiments that I'm doing along the way with music and with music marketing, all that good juicy stuff. So with that said, if you've been watching these videos, you'll know that around this time I like to chug a lot of water because as a 51-year-old, soon to be 52-year-old guy, I need to take care of myself in all ways, particularly health. So this is my reminder to drink more water. This is a leader rewarder. If you want to join me, press pause, go and get your drink, come back, let's do it. Here we go. Whew. Oh, I feel better already. I don't know about you. And I think it was yesterday I forgot my water bottle. I was doing Krav Maga, and I take a water bottle with me, and I did the video in the van, in the car outside, and I realised I'd left it in the studio. Anyway, so this is for yesterday. And I hope you join me. If not, I hope you skip ahead to this bit. Hey, so busking is not begging. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because if you've been watching the last few videos, you'll see that I'm talking about my theme is just don't get involved in the whole streaming, just going for streaming and just going for likes and follows. It doesn't work. If you're just starting off, or if you're restarting, what you need to do is the things that don't scale, which is things like playing gigs, turning up in live events, going to networking events, meeting people, having conversations, getting to know the fans that do show up one by one, getting to know them personally, getting to know what they're about, what they like, getting to know yourself. Who are you as an artist? What are you like? What do you like? What's your mission? What's your vision? What are you saying? Why should people listen to you? All these things need to be explored in the journey of being an artist. And it's not easy. I get it, and it's a lot easier to just go, oh, I'm going to put something out and then I'm going to whack some money on it and hope for the best. Or I'm going to put an album out and just try and buy my way onto a Spotify playlist or send the stuff to submit up. And whilst that kind of stuff can work, it's very shot in the dark. A lot of the stuff is in your control. And if you do get a track on Spotify playlist and you get a load of love from that, and then all of a sudden you get dropped off the playlist again, guess what? You've got no fans, right? Yeah, there's no fans because you haven't built a rapport, you haven't built a connection with them, you don't even know them, right? So that's what I'm all about. And for me, in this kind of model of, well, what does work? Yeah, I've sort of talked about what doesn't work. What does work is owning your own IP, your intellectual property, owning your own platform, if you like, owning your own email list. So yes, use social media to get people into your email list. Yes, play gigs to get people into your email list. Yes, go to networking events, meet people, but get them on your email list so you can have a conversation with them. So you own that list and you can move it around from different providers, but it's yours and it's yours to nurture. And so that's the O of, that's right, isn't it? Yeah. Sorry, I'm losing my mind here. So that is own your own list. And P is to play live as much as possible. Play live as much as possible. Even if you might even say, well, I'm not a live musician, I'm a DJ or something like that. It doesn't matter. Get yourself out there live, get lots of live experience, put on a show, learn to put on a show, because you'll notice even 2025 that all the big artists are playing live. Why is that? Because that's where the money is mainly, right? You play live, obviously, you're not just buying a ticket, you're buying merchandise, you're buying the videos, you're buying the whole stuff around it. And if you're right at the top, like people like Adele, you're creating a whole theme park around a live experience. So live is still very a great way of getting your music out there and building fans. And so start humbly, start small, and grow and scale gradually, right? So playing live, playing open mic. If you're just starting out, playing open mics is great. I've already talked about in other videos how to get paid for every time you play live. It's in one of my videos, and I will eventually put it up here. So you're getting paid for that, even if you don't get paid on the night. But playing open mics is a great start because it helps you to get to know people. You're turning up live, you put it on a show. You don't know who's going to be there on those nights. And I've talked about these stories in other videos where, all kinds of things can happen at an open mic, especially if you're hosting them yourself, because that means you're guaranteed a gig. You're going to get paid, especially if you're getting paid to do the open mic. You're creating a community around yourself. You're creating content. There's just literally no downside. So if you're starting off there, playing open mics, busking is, as I said at the top of this video, it's not begging. A lot of people, oh, it's beneath me. I don't want to busk. It's only like drug addicts, homeless people that busk. They don't busk. They are begging. They are literally begging because they need the money. They're begging for their lives. Busking is very different. A busker is a street performer. It's someone who can play on the street, yes, but you'll have your merchandise there. You'll have all kinds of you might have CDs because people still buy them, and you travel around and you're putting yourself in the way of thousands of people. So you're not waiting for an audience to come to you to your gig. You're just showing up somewhere and starting playing. There is no better way, there's no quicker way, there's no more immediate way of plugging into an audience and getting instant feedback from the track. Because if you can stop a couple of people, a couple of complete strangers on the street, if they could stop for a minute or even 30 seconds, toss you a coin and listen to your music, that's a fan. That's someone who's taken time out of their day. That they haven't, they didn't know you were going to be there, and they're pausing. Everyone's so busy nowadays. So just to stop someone even for a few seconds, and they enough for them to tip you some money, or to maybe take a picture of you, take a picture of your QR code and hit you up later on. All these kind of things. These kind of people are real fans because they've already taken the time and they've already paid to listen to you, even though they didn't have to. It's just from out of pure generosity. So the fans that you get from busking are real fans, yeah. And if you've got a way of capturing them, like I say, from a QR code and getting them on your playlist, on your email list, if you've got flyers, anything, a sign up saying where your social medias and your email sign up list. Better still, if you've got someone what they used to call a bottler. Back in the day, so you'd have an actor that's playing, and you'd have someone. If they gather a little crowd, you'd have someone going around with a hat or a can or a bottle or a whatever, a case, and saying, "Oh, could you donate?" Whilst people are enjoying it in the moment, and it's very hard for people to then go, "No, I'm not going to pay you," because even though I'm enjoying it. So that would happen. You get a bottler going around, and they would get the money. And you'd split the money, obviously. So there's different ways of doing it. There's so many different ways of doing busking, and like I say, I'm very bullish on it. I wrote a book about it called Busking for Beginners, and I'm going to put it in the comments down below, in the link down below. And if you sign up to the newsletter, my newsletter today, you will get that. I mean, it's $7.99 if you want to buy it on Amazon. It's got like 20 odd 5-star reviews. So you get that completely free. I'll send it to you for free if you sign up today for my newsletter. See what I'm doing, demonstrating here? It's like a lead magnet. I'm inviting you. I'm giving you something in exchange for your email address, because I want you on my email list. Get what I'm saying? I want to talk to you. I want to develop a relationship, because the stuff I talk about in my newsletter is very different to what I talk about on here. And I want to get to know you as well. I want it to be a conversation. So there we go. Get the book, hit the street, get the money, and drop your email address on the newsletter. I'll give you the book. So, as I said, Busking is, it's also, excuse me, this coconut water is repeating on me. It's also COVID proof. So you might say, okay, well, you've got to think of these things with businesses, and COVID proof. It was when COVID happened, I started doing what I called courtyard concerts. And I was making sort of over $200 for just 10, 15 minutes of concert. So things like that, which is it was kind of like busking, but you'd show up and play a concert in someone's back garden. If it was like a lot of apartment buildings and with a sort of an open plan courtyard, just plonk yourself in the middle there, play for 10, 15 minutes. You got your big sign saying, scan this to send money, and people did, because they had nothing else to do. Everyone was locked down. They were out on the balconies. It was like playing to a stadium. So things like that you can do. And depending on the time of day, you can play. Playing at night around city centres, playing on a Friday and Saturday night when people are already out enjoying themselves and they're sort of drinking and they're in the mood for a party. If you plonk yourself in the middle of them, you can earn big time. It's a lot more. It's a bit more vulnerable. It can be a bit more. You can be more open to wild things happening, but on the whole, it's a great way to again make fans, make money, and more importantly, create the kind of chops that you need for performances. If you can sort of think on your feet, if you can improvise in the moment, if you can entertain a street of strangers, if you can make people stop, then you're onto something. It's stagecraft. So that's enough about busking and playing live. So E is engaging in your fans, engaging. So it's not enough to just play for people anymore. And I had a story about a band I used to mentor many years ago, over 20 years ago now. They were great. They were a three-piece band, melodic pop, and they were awesome. And they were, cute, and they had everything going for them. And they started playing schools, which is a genius move. And they were playing school assemblies to like 600 kids. And they literally, I met up with them after one of these gigs, and there were kids coming out after them as they were coming out, packing their van away, packing the musical instruments into the van. And the kids were running after them. It was like something out of the Beatles, like chasing them down the street, because they were like a big fan already. And so I was talking to them. So, well, how do you stay in touch with the fans then? And he was like, well, we don't. We just book gigs at schools. We just speak to the headmaster and we just play the hall, and that's it. It's like you've got all these fans here, and how do they're the ones that want to. How do you stay in touch with them afterwards? And they didn't have an idea. They went into. This was over 20 years ago. It was only email. You could do it by then. Texting and all that kind of stuff was in its infancy. It wasn't really a thing used in that way. But they didn't follow up. They didn't nurture that fan base, and they split up less than a year later. And it was a crying shame. I still think about those guys today, because they did have it, and everyone could see it. Everyone who saw them play were like, "Wow, these guys have got it. They had it. When you see it, they just had it." But what they didn't have was the smarts. They didn't have the humility. They didn't have the business acumen to collect their email addresses and to start. They could have rinsed it, with the school crowd. They could have done a school tour. You're playing to 600, 700, 800 people a day. You could do two concerts a day, maybe three. You could play to over 1,000 people a day. Think of how many fans you'd convert that way. But anyway, that's another story for another time. So engage. You have to engage with people in a real way and in a consistent way. And then N is network like mad. And So that's going to gigs, supporting other bands, going to just talking to people wherever you go. So if you go to a gig, you know, get talking to the bar staff, get talking to the manager, get talking to the security, get talking to other bands, other fans. You know, if you're going to a music store, get talking to the music people there, because everyone's connected, right? You don't know who you're talking to and who they know, you know. And it's time and again how many times I've spoken to people and connected with them in some way, and then a friend of a friend, they've, you know, connected me with them, and then that's ended up with other things. You know, basically I've ended up being invited to go to the Songwriter Showcase in New York, all through connections. You know, it was all just through networking. And so if you put all that together, you'll see open. So OPEN. So O is obviously what we talked about earlier at the top, which was own. I forgot what it was then. Own your list, own your email list, play live, engage, and network like a mad thing. So I hope I've whetted your appetite. I hope I've proved my point, and I hope I've explained enough about busking and my manifesto, which is, I'm going to talk about this in another video, but it's the Delusional Freak Manifesto. And part of the Delusional Freak Manifesto is that rejection is just correction. Ridicule is fuel, and resilience leads to brilliance. And not only that, don't try and fit in, freak out. And I'll talk more about all this tomorrow. If you've liked it so far, hit the like button, hit the share button, and most importantly, hit the subscribe button. And please comment down below, comment freak down below, or busking, and I will send you the Busking for Beginners book if you sign up to the newsletter, which is also in the description. So there's a lot of things I'm asking you to do there. You can pick any one of them, but please, most importantly, enjoy yourself, have a good day, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care.